while SGTG opting to go for the red side, and for their picks and bans right now, we see Myth Esports banning Zenial. Meanwhile, SGTG going for the Malok ban.
Yes, apparently the Zephyr ban is actually a respect ban on the side of the SGTG because Zephyr is actually a higher win rate hero for their side.
That's correct, Ursas. For the most part, again, we can see right now for Myth Esports, they chose Zenial for their first pick. Meanwhile, SGTG opting to go for the last son of Krypton, Superman, as well as an Alice. That said, Ursats, what can you say about, again, Superman donning the cape to go for the entire battlefield?
So far, Superman has performed very well for the teams that pick him. More often than not, they are the teams that actually win the game.
That's true. So it's interesting to note if Superman can finally go to his winning ways in this potentially in this final matchup or for a best of 3 series regarding for the upper bracket for this day. And now we can see again for Myth Esports, they're implying for they got the Tulin as well as the Joker and Kreknat to complete their lineup. Meanwhile, Team SGTG going for the Ryoma as well as a L'Oreal. Oh, is it L'Oreal? Is it a Preda? Is it a L'Oreal? Is it a Preda? So interesting right now. Still thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen. But now again, I guess they're gonna lock up for a Preda right now. I think, are they gonna lock up? Yes, they locked up for a Preda right now, ladies and gentlemen.
So both teams prioritizing for a traditional composition, having their own marksman. Fortunately, I forgot. So for the side of SGT, they don't have a marksman, but they prefer having a Preda on their side.
That is correct. Employing again the Valiant server tried and tested meta of going all melee, or at least not all melee. Sorry, a very top heavy team with a support and a damager, a burst damager at the providing artillery fire, so to speak. That said, meanwhile, as this game is going, we can again, for those who just joined us tonight, we thank you for keeping us company or showing support for Kaisaya's tournament. You can catch all of the AOV action, especially Kaisaya's tournament in her various social media channels, which are her Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/KaisayaPH, twitter.com/KaisayaPH, as well as her YouTube, which is youtube.com/Kaisaya, as well as Facebook page, facebook.com/KaisayaPH.
And if you have friends that weren't able to watch the stream, they can still visit samuraigamers.com for the game recap, the actual plays happening today.
That is correct. And right now, again, for those who just got in and seeing what the tournament is all about, there's a prize for the winning team for this tournament in the form of 8,000 pesos worth of esports jerseys to go with 10 pesos worth in cash, as well as 10,000 vouchers in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we really need to thank our sponsors, Samurai Gamers, for providing for the additional prize pool, and Garena AOV PH for providing the 10K worth of vouchers.
That is correct. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, as the mandatory 30-second pause will be in effect, I have to say, Ursats, with regards to the team composition between the two teams, who do you think has the edge?
I think based on the data, based on the history of their performance, Kriknak has been a top win rate hero as well as their Tulin. And very curious for SGTT since their current heroes are very picked for the first time.
That's correct. And for the most part, well, it's going to be interesting to note how SGTG would deal with a very burst-heavy team composition that Myth Esports has employed in the form of the Kriknak, the Tulin, as well as the Joker.
Yes, really looking forward on how the buff on Kriknak will take in effect on this tournament.
That is correct. And right now, here we go. The first round, first match for best of 3 series between SGTG and Myth Esports.
So all the teams right now trying to position themselves within the jungle, not prioritizing on the lane. But right now, Tulin and Preta are already having a mid lane battle.
That is correct. Again, going for the orthodox mage mid match up for the game. It's going to be Preta against Tulin. Meanwhile, for lane assignments, running down the card, so to speak, we see Superman on the top side battling against the Zenial. Meanwhile, we have Arthur, surprisingly enough, battling the Joker at the Abyssal Dragon lane.
Yes, looking forward for this matchup between a melee and a long-range hero.
That is correct. And meanwhile, while that's happening, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that for the most part, SGTG again going for a nice invade and getting the Might Golem. But of course, there's a pause by the blue team, or I guess that's Myth Esports, if I remember correctly. rule states that for the teams they have a 3-minute rule when employing for a pause. So this pause, when it reaches 3 minutes, they're gone. It's gone. So the team cannot pause the game anymore. But right now, it's if you need to use it, better use it quick. Better use it well.
I guess Mid Esports are trying to recollect themselves on how they start the game. Maybe talking about strategies, trying to counter. Already, SGTG already establishing that they have the opportunity to jungle invade.
That is correct. That could be the case actually, Ursas. But for the most part, maybe it could be a device issue or a connectivity issue, since for the most part, Arena of Valor is an online game, to say the least. So it's gonna be having the right connectivity is key essentially to win matches. Essentially, yes. Again, going back, we could see we confirm actually that production says that connectivity issue is the case for the pause, ladies and gentlemen. So as of now, we're still gonna wait until the Myth Esports the issue would be resolved. And again, and just as I call it, again, the game is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. The battle is about to begin. So right now we see again the Ryoma with SG Cosmo going for an awesome invade with the help of Preta as well as Alice for the game.
Apparently, each team is trying to establish themselves within the jungle. Superman trying to negate Xenial's entry into the game. So Tulin and Preta trying to battle right in the middle.
Indeed, that's correct, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, I guess we're experiencing some technical difficulties as well on our side, ladies and gentlemen. I think the game is slightly lagging on our side. Hold on. Interesting turn of events right now. You could see people are moving right now, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Apologies for that. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I guess the game's still on pause for the most part. We're still trying to figure out the connectivity issues, I guess, for either Myth Sports or Myth Esports or either SGTG. With that said, we can go somewhere a little light for the most part here. The story of the game so far, or at least not just this game, for that matter, is I'd like to highlight how the Alice pick so far has been very much revelation for most of the games here that we've casted. Airsets.
I see. Especially when Alice is constantly using her abilities, she had an advantage of having additional movement speed across the game, so it provides more chance for her teammates to be experiencing support. So again, Alice is a very essential composition.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It goes to show how a very roamy meta here that's full on display, fully showcased. But here again, we can see that the pause is now lifted, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're back. SG, Mata, and Champ trying to thwart another invade attempt by Myth Esports, and thwart they did, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, apparently, Preta has been doing a great job right now, trying to harass the opposite lane.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. For them, again, still both teams jockeying for position, still not trying to give each team an advantage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so you're actually trying to prepare a good setup for each opposite team.
Kind of feels like they're actually, for the most part, trying like a mirror match of some sorts. But here we can see another clash that's happening right now. Again, Ryoma doing some nice initiates, followed by the Alice. Again, going for the first blood. First blood honors goes to SG Champ with a nice stun in favor of SGTG.
Yes, Ryoma doing is one of the best things that he can do, just like doing a Cephas, trying to poke down and finish the enemy.
That said, SG Mata almost getting decimated there by the Joker's killing joke, but manages to use his talent flicker just in time to get out of dodge, ladies and gentlemen.
Apparently, on this particular part of the jungle, they're trying to negate Xenial from escaping, but however, the SG is trying to get back and try to recollect themselves.
That is correct, and commendable moves, positioning right there from SG Champ as well as SG Mata when it comes to getting the most out of the burst damage that they need after a good initiate from SG Cosmos Ryoma. That said, Ursets, what do you think should Myth Esports do in order to essentially put the momentum in their favor?
So far, there hasn't been huge disparity between the two teams when it comes to the gold, when it comes to the items. So I guess for Mid Esports to change the tide of the game, they need to recollect and try to get the Abyssal Dragon, trying to get more gold as well as pick a setup against SGTG.
That's it. I guess that's correct, ladies and sorry, Ursas. And right now, there's going to be another Abyssal Dragon contest. Tulin is so low, but killing Superman in the process. Again, Preta charging up the Dragon Kamehameha, ladies and gentlemen, and the Joker getting SG Cosmos, ladies and gentlemen, and as well, oh, what a fortunate turn of events right there for Myth Esports, getting a three-person kill in their favor, and Abyssal Dragon is about to go down and secured by. Yes, I'm sorry, secured by Myth Esports.
Yes, very commendable effort for Tolan trying to take advantage of his ultimate so that he can have a pure reset of his Thunderclap stacks.
That is correct, and for the most part right now, just my how the tables have turned. For instance, we thought that from the earlier stage of the game, SGTG has the momentum, but again, how quickly it shifts with just the correct stop, the nice pickup of the out of position heroes from the end of SGTG for Myth Esports to take full advantage of for a 4-1 lead.
Yes, again, the stops are creating opportunities for Myth Esports to change the tide of the game. Now for TG, I guess they need to set something for them as well.
That is correct, and for right now, we can see that SGTG trying their best to recuperate and refocus their resolve in terms of trying to maintain, at least trying to catch up in terms of goal advantage, considering that they lost that earlier clash. But now we can see again, I guess for more often than not, to say the least rather, it's going back to a sense of normalcy when it comes to the laning compositions. So here we go.
So the team right now are trying to go to the AD lane. I guess they're trying to set up something for each teams. And right now, SGTG is pulling themselves going to the lower part of the map. But unfortunately, they're trying to go back to the middle. Maybe try to deny the Tolen.
That is correct, and right now you can see Ryoma still trying his best to pick off the Tolen, but to no avail, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, with the 5-minute mark, you can see that the siege weapons already been drawn, and the push is gonna be worth it more now. And again, there's a clash, ladies and gentlemen, from the bot near the middle lane rather. Again, Preta doing awesome movement. Nice positioning again. Very commendable for SGTG.
Yes, very commendable for Preta trying to activate his ultimate so that he has additional movement speed and attack speed when ganks are coming in.
That is correct. Although we have to take note as well that for the most part we see that SG Skyry opting to go for the roaming, but leaving Zenial to fend for himself. And right now for Zenial, that's essentially good news for Myth Esports.
Yes, apparently Skyry is taking advantage that the tower hasn't been damaged yet. So I guess returning back to the position is allowing the other team to try to position themselves for other possible ganks.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It's very telling that this game is a matter of essentially this has been a game of just poking and harass. So very commendable strategy for both teams. Very it's indicative of how high level this matchup is between Myth Esports. And right now we can see Ryoma getting the dragon, securing the dragon for SGTG, and again Tolen getting an ultimate, sniping down essentially Ryoma as well as SG Sim as well as Champ falling down for a triple kill in favor of Myth Esports.
Yeah, very poor design by Abyssal Dragon. His heroes have been the actual arena for these two teams to clash.
That is the case rather. That is the case since for the most part it's a highly contested objective, especially in the earlier stages of the game. A very commendable move there for Myth Esports to take full advantage of a somewhat I guess there was a miscue there when it comes to engaging and securing the dragon, but essentially that's a give and take situation there for SGTG. It's either you take the dragon and get some kills, or give the dragon to Myth Sports and live to fight another day. But we saw right there that they chose for the former. And again, you can see right now, Tolen almost killing Superman right now, but the Crickback again almost falling the wayside with the turret fire. But again, at the expense also of the red tower falling in the middle lane for SGTG.
Right now, the battle has been on the uppermost part and the lowermost part of the map, trying so that Myth Esports can at least pull the creeps around to trying to break it to the SG side.
That's correct, and right now we can see again the Preta still out of bounds for out of position right now with the Ormar doing his Ormar best to essentially CC most of the enemies. But again, the Zenial going back with the Angelic Splendor, doing their best, and again, the Tulin, again, trying to do some damage again for Met Esports with the Joker following suit with the Killing Joke, essentially sniping down SG Champ for an 8-1 advantage so far. And again, the salvo isn't over yet with regards to Met Esports as they continue to dominate or at least impose their will to the SGTG's jungle, getting their Sage Golem in the process.
Yeah, great job for the Joker providing additional support damage when Kreknak engages the enemy. Also, when Tulin had the chance to use his thunderclaps to attach the enemy.
That is correct. And right now, at almost 8 minutes 30 seconds of the match so far, Ursats, I have to ask, what do you think should SGTG do when it comes to getting their groove back, so to speak?
Again, they need to pick off the Tulin on a random area, or at least the Kreknak, because they're the two highly most win rate heroes on the side of Mid Esports.
Okay, that's correct. And right now, sorry, you can see again, Met Esports securing yet another Abyssal Dragon for their team. And we can see again the Kreknak. We're almost bursting down and defeating Superman for some damage. But again, you can see SG Cosmos returning the favor and killing the Kreknak for some damage. But again, being felled by the Tulin. Again, doing most insanely burst damage. But again, you can see Superman doing some Kryptonian magic right now. Kryptonian Mike, ladies and gentlemen, doing his best to win the match for his team, but to no avail, ladies and gentlemen. Myths Esports with the double kill and the ace at 9 minutes and 32 seconds of action, with Tulin again getting most likely MVP honors for that clash at least. It was another triple kill.
Yes. Apparently, this has been a huge gap between STG, Mid Esports having a lot of kills, allowing their heroes to have a level advantage, also with the item advantage.
And that's it with the blue tower destroyed. Again, with the second blue tower for SGTG destroyed by Myth Esports. I dare ask now, Ursats, do you think that, what do you have to say rather, between the matchup between the Tulin versus the Preta?
Well, Preta is in a very difficult position right now because he needs to use his abilities in a proper timing. And unless, as compared to Tulin, you can play it very aggressively. The more you play Tulin very aggressively, the more you have the chance to kill the enemy.
That is correct. And right now, we can see for the most part, SGTG's first turret at the top lane also has been shut down and destroyed by the Zenial, by Lomi of Myth Esports. And again, look at that. Zenial using his ultimate Angelic Span to get out of dodge for a possible potential gank against by SGTG. Excellent juking and jiving, to say the least, by Lomi.
Yes, right now SGTG is very confused where to roam around the map while Mid Esports trying to push their will, trying to get the game.
That is correct, and right now we can see SG Sim trying to do some damage again, but you can see, oh, what a nice engage right there, ladies and gentlemen, by SGTG. But again, you can see the Ormor again doing his best to do damage, but to no avail. Again, SGTG with the essential stop right now, again contesting the dragon, but for the most part, the dragon was again secured, ladies and gentlemen, by Myth Esports. There. And again, Tulin, before dying, getting a legendary honors before getting shut down by SG Scary Superman. But again, the Joker was there right beside, avenging the Tulin for Myth Esports.
Yes, a very good pickup by Myth Esports, since if Tulin cannot provide the kill, at least Joker, since it's an AP marksman, can still provide the finishing blow.
And again, the Joker doing some mincemeat against the Preta, getting shut down in the process though. But still, you can commend again how high the damage is by Slapstick in the Joker.
Yes, very commendable.
That is correct. And right now, at the end of almost 12 minutes of gameplay, you can see Myth Esports with a commanding lead in terms of team kills with 17-7. And right now, they're about on the verge and essentially securing the first Dark Slayer of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And this juncture, Ursats, what do you think should SGTG do in terms to, when it comes to stopping the bleeding and maybe even having a crucial stop for their team?
I guess for SGTG, since Myth Esports already have the power spike, then a buff with the Dark Slayer, they need to get back to their own safe zone, trying to let the cooldown of the Dark Slayer come off.
That is correct. Although we have to also take note that for the most part, considering that Myth Esports has the conventional lineup with the marksman and the joker, when it comes to the late game, it's gonna be they're gonna be hard pressed to defeat such a high burst marksman in the form of joker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And right now, we can see at 13 minutes of play for the Myth Esports still batting down the hatches and trying to essentially get the second tier towers of the mid lane as well as the top lane, with the joker again sniping down essentially Ryoma for the kill and also securing the the top tower for Myth Esports. And again, action too quick to call, ladies and gentlemen. Tulen with a double kill and an ace for Myth Esports, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I guess other than SG Giovanni, Meet Nayon has been performing Tulen very well.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Such is the case for the most part. You can see that by and large, when it comes to the team composition or Ursats, what can you say about the mobility of team Myth Esports?
I would say that with the power spike. Oh, wait a minute, it's very big in tower. Okay.
That's it. Sorry for very fast. Sorry, too quick to call there. Right now, again, commendable effort for SGTG, but Myth Esports winning the first game of the best of 3 series with a 22-9 lead. Again, going back to our previous discussion before Myth Esports dealt the final blow. What can you say about the mobility again of Myth Esports' lineup compared to SGTG?
I guess when it comes to the mobility, I guess Senyo is providing the additional protection, allowing opportunities for the other heroes to move around. And I guess for Kriknak, since he is a built-in assassin with mobility, it gives advantage to him.
Okay, that's correct. And right now we can see for the box score, it's a 9-22 in terms of team kills in favor of Myth Esports. MVP honors, of course, goes to Nayon. Nayon stolen essentially with an impressive 11-1-7 KDA for an impressive also 15.1 MVP rating.
Yeah, so far at this particular juncture, Mages has been performing and has been carrying the game for the respective teams.
That is correct, and for the most part, I guess the narrative also is. If you going to the well of strategies, if all else fails, you can go for the tried and tested Season 1 marksman composition and it still works, provided that you have the high tier heroes at your disposal, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess on the side of SGTG, they need to consider banning either Tulen or trying to deny the Zenyo.
That's it. And again, on the other side of the fence, ladies and gentlemen, for SGTG Ursats, what do you feel, or what is your synopsis, or sorry, what's your diagnosis rather for the Superman play?
I guess for Superman, from his end, he needs to coordinate better, or put his teammates in the right position when he's trying to initiate surprising ganks to the enemy.
That is correct. And right now, since I guess we're still waiting for the second game to, for the players to regain composure and prepare themselves for the second game. Again, we are live at Kaisaya's various streaming accounts, which are in Kaisaya at Twitch TV/KaisayaPH, Twitter.com/KaisayaPH, as well as her YouTube and Facebook pages.
Yes, so apart from that, you can check more updates when it comes to Arena of Valor or when it comes to the tournament to samurai-thegamers.com. They're very accessible to Twitter, to YouTube, and to Facebook. So right now, we're trying to trying to prepare the room for the second match of the best of 3 between Myth Esports and SGTG.
That is correct, and for this second match, it's going to be for the sides. SGTG is going to go for the blue side, while Myth Esports is opting to go now for the red side. Considering the first game, Ursats, what do you think what adjustments should SGTG imply, or at least make to make this next match be more in their favor?
I guess for their team, if they feel that they cannot manage the Tulen, I suggest maybe banning the Tulen, more of a respect ban. And also, if you feel that they can pick the Tulen, why not?
That is correct, and considering that they have SG Mata, who is also a known, very good mage player for AOV with his Preta as well as and L'Oreal rather. having a Tulen there is a good option for his team to win, essentially for the second game.
Yes. So if the tool is not yet available for them, maybe I suggest for Mata, you can try to pick a L'Oreal, which is more mobile than a Preta.
That is correct. And again, right now, for while we're still preparing, for those who just got or joined us for this second game, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Kaisaya's Arena Valor Valiant Online Community Tournament. This is the best of 3 series for the upper bracket, one of the last games for today. So again, we can see. Thank you for your time, and we hope that we could entertain you with some interesting high octane Arena Valor action you can only see at Kaisaya's tournament here.
Yes. For now, we're already in the ban and peak phase. Now, Kilgore has been banned on the side of SGTG, and for the other side, it's another respect ban to prevent the use of Zephys.
That is very interesting to note there, Ursats, that they actually implied to get to go for the Kilcroft ban. Do you think that was a good decision from that part? Since right now, I guess again, when you look at the picks right now from Myth Esports, they have full range of the Tulin and Zenil yet again.
It's a very surprising ban on the side of SGTG.
So right now we can see that for SGTG, apart from the Malok pick from SG Sim, they're going to further provide some firepower in the form of a bursty and mobile composition in the form of Kriknak as well as Airy.
Yes, the Airy pick on the side of SGTG is actually one of the win rate heroes, top win rate heroes on the side of SGTG.
Interesting. Let's see if for this matchup, a do or die essentially for SGTG, if it's gonna go the way for their team. And right now we can see for Myth Esports, they go and pick up again Ormar and Joker. This kind of looks like similar to the first first match, the composition of Myth Esports. Don't you agree?
Yes, very similar. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is correct. And right now we can see now for SGTG trying to cover all their bases when it comes to team fights by opting to go for the Thane and L'Oreal pick.
And looking forward on the kind of her pick by Zamzo.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Right now for
very indecisive.
Very indecisive indeed, ladies and gentlemen. But now we can see that Myth Esports maybe teasing a butterfly, but going for the Zil to complete their lineup, ladies and gentlemen. So again, just to recap, we could see that for SGTG, who's on the blue side, they're opting to go for a Malok, Kriknak, Thane, Airy, and L'Oreal pick for a team composition rather, and for Myth Esports, they opting to go again for almost an identical lineup from last game with the Zenial, Tolen, Ormar, the Joker, and the Zil pick. That said, Ursats, what can you say about Myth Esports' composition in relation to the other team picks from SGTG?
So again, looking forward on how Zil would jive on the synergy already created by the previous picks of the Myth Esports. And then when it comes to the side of SGTG, since they picked Kriknak, looking forward on how will they use that hero.
That is correct. And for them, again, checking out the team composition, we can see that SGTG opted to go for a very mobile lineup considering from the last game with the Kriknak, the Airy, as well as the L'Oreal. So in terms of team fights, they're still a little better, to be honest, considering that they have the Malok as well as the Thane when it comes to securing or at least stunning or providing the necessary crowd control for SGTG. But again, going back on the other side of the fence for Myth Esports, they still have the Ormar as well as the Zenial. It's a very reactive, to say the least, a very active picks when you relate it to SGTG's ones.
Yeah, with the exception of L'Oreal, maybe SGTG is opting to finish the game as early as possible, because once the Joker and the Tulen scales, it's really difficult for them to come back from it.
That is correct. And right now, again, for the mandatory 30-second pause, we like to again remind the folks here that for the players or the teams who are competing in Kaisaya's online tournament, the prize pool, the prizes here are a lot, consisting of 8,000 pesos worth of esports jerseys, 10,000 pesos worth of cash, as well as 10,000 in-game vouchers, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Quite a lot of loot, to say the least. Don't you agree, Ursats?
Yes. We'd really like to thank Samurai Gamers for their prize pool sponsorship, as well as Garena AOV PH for the vouchers.
That is correct. And right now, with the 30-second pause gone, we now go for the second game between Myth Esports and SGTG.
Yes. So apparently, the composition of Meet Esports includes Zil and Tulens. Looking forward on how both of these mages interact, since um, Zil is actually a mage assassin type of hero.
That is correct, and we can see right now for a four-man myth esports trying to secure the Sage Golem from their side, and again using some insane damage against SG Champ with Ormor getting the first blood against the L'Oreal from SGTG. What a nice way to go for Myth Esports at the earlier stages of the game.
Yeah, really like to commend the Omar because he's been very stable in the game. Not so flashy moves, but he still helped his team.
That's correct, and we can see right now, again, Myth Ambensky, sorry if I butchered your name, Ambensky doing, again, being a pest against the Kriknax jungle right now, but again, I guess, oh, nice, juking and driving right there, essentially, awesome movement from the Ormar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so right now on the upper side, so Ari and Zenial are actually engaging each other. So again, Zenial will have some difficulties facing early game because she has no cooldowns, so she can actually harass her.
That is correct, and for the most part, again, SG Skyry doing essentially the Zenial duty,
Yeah.
considering again that for this that Zen is also a very strong, still a decent candidate when it comes to a two-way threat again in this server. So right now, again, you can see in the middle lane, almost near the Dark Slayer. Also, you can see the Ormar is trying to again jockey for position. Meanwhile, the L'Oreal SG Mata again trying to provide some assistance from the Airy from SG Skyry, but again it was still quelled. But again, the Ormar from Myth Esports again trying their best to harass Juke and Jive and deal some kinks in the armor, so to speak, between SGTG and Myth Esports.
This particular part of the game is about saying hi and hello when it comes to damage.
That is correct, and for the most part, I think as far as damage is concerned, early game damage, I think it goes in favor of Myth Esports, thanks in part to their Tolen as well as the Joker's insane burst damage,
Yes.
to say the least. And again, we can see Myth Esports getting the first first Abyssal Dragon rather, for their team.
Yes, SGTG is still having difficulties to initiate some ganks because the Tulen's Thunderclap stacks are already active.
That is correct. And again, as this game is going, Ersatz, what do you think SG Cosmos Kriknak be focusing on when it comes? So sorry, before that, again, SG Mata getting sniped down by SG Nion's Tolen. Again, the Tolen showing how strong he is in this game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, really, Tolen has been a huge impact in this current meta of the C server.
That is correct, and again, you can see it for the most part. SG Lion, Myth Nion again doing some damage again for Myth Esports, essentially sniping down and getting a double kill. Getting a kill by the Kriknak, as well as Zenial also following suit, killing the Eerie for a 1-4 advantage in terms of team kills.
Yeah, very unfortunate for SGT trying to get the Kriknak instead. Maybe Tulen should be picked on their side.
That is correct for them. Again, you can see in the earlier stages of the game, Myth Esports is being essentially running roughshod in this tournament again in the early stages, considering that they have insane burst and essentially controlling the map for the most part.
Yes, so Tulen really performing well using the advantage of Thunderclap stacks.
Oh, but again, you can see SG Cosmos trying to burst down Nion and almost getting the Tulen out of commission. But again, awesome movement there again by Myth Nion.
So apparently Tulen has already come back, and right now Joker trying to provide additional support magic damage.
That is correct, but you can see from outside, you saw that SG Skyry, netting a kill by eliminating the Zill, essentially.
Yes, apparently Joker and Zenial trying to provide some top and lower lane stability to prevent SG to go for make an advantage.
Speaking of SG's advantage, Ersatz, knowing that this is about almost around 5 minutes of gameplay, what do you think is their strategy going into the mid game rather?
I guess during the mid game, TJ needs to compose and try to coordinate on how to pick off the Tulen. Once the Tulen is down, you can already pick off the Zill and the Joker and try to push down the opposite towers.
That seems the case, and right now we can see again that again Myth Esports contesting, essentially securing again another Abyssal Dragon for their team, but Quicknack is quick to work, trying his best to shut down Nayon Stolin, who's doing essential good damage for his team with the Zen Angelic Splendor down, essentially for his team going against the flow, and again providing dividends for Myth Esports. But again, you can see L'Oreal returning the favor, returning the serve, actually getting the kill on the Yormar, who was very zealous when it comes to charging the lane, charging down the turret for Myth Esports.
Apparently, also the gold acquisitions are already getting the gap between SGTG and Myth has already been big. So SGTG has to take note about this, and they need to farm more gold.
Oh, but instead you can see also right there, after SG Skyry secured the first tower kill for the game for SGTG, he manages to eliminate Nayon Stolen in short order, ladies and gentlemen. So again, you can see that for the most part, there's still some light of hope when it comes to bursting down Myth Esports carries.
Yes, actually, when the Tulen is down, it provides opportunities for SGTG to make a counter attack.
That is interesting. That is true, Ursats. For the most part, again, we also haven't seen a fully fledged team fight that's happened in part of SGTG's initiates. Considering that, again, you can see for the most part, you can see SG Champ initiating, engaging the team fight, and coaxing the ultimate from Angelic Splendor from the Zenial. But again, Quicknack falls as well as the Thane, ladies and gentlemen, in favor for Myth Esports.
Yes, the synergy between the Joker and Tulen and the Zill is very, very effective.
That is correct. And right now, again, you can see that Myth Esports still running roughshod against on the jungle of SGTG. The story of the game also is the Malok. It seems to be a little bit non-factor for the game so far.
Yes, unfortunately, he cannot dictate his will to the game because of the presence of Zenial, and also maybe the timing when it comes to their team fights or team gaps.
That is correct. And right now, again, SGTG trying to stop the bleeding, so to speak, for the most part, and while Myth Esports again preparing, setting up the Abyssal Dragon yet again for a potential 3 Abyssal Dragons for their favor.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, and you can see, again, it's not gonna get contested, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Myth Esports with a dominating performance so far in the game.
Yes, so Myth Esports trying to press the issue, trying to dictate and tell and give a message to SGTG that they have the map control.
That is correct. And speaking of map control, at 8 minutes of gameplay, we see right now that for the most part, Myth Esports having the commanding lead in terms of team kills with 4-7, as well as almost a 5,000 gold advantage when it comes to gold advantage rather. So that said, what do you think should Ursats? What do you think should SGTG do in order to stop the gold advantage from from Myth Esports? Sorry about that. Almost an ill-advised ultimate there from SG Sim with the Malok.
I guess communication is the key on the side of SGTG. They have the top tier heroes at their disposal, but unfortunately they cannot make a good setup.
That is correct. And but conversely, rather, for Myth Esports, what do you think should Myth Esports continue doing in order to win this game?
I guess for Myth Esports, they need to impose their will by taking the opposite jungle, trying to get off the minions, trying to get the buffs, and then try to lure some players of HTE to kill them and provide more pace for their side.
That is correct. And rather, you can see a small small clash has been happening here. And again, Zill making mincemeat, squashing Quicknack like a bug, so to speak. And again, excellent response there from Lomi with the Zenial Ultimate Angelic Splendor, saving the day for his team. But now you can see, for the most part, again, you can see awesome moves again and response from Nayon as well, in helping Ambensky get out of dodge from a potential kill in the turret for Myth Esports.
Yes, there's apparently good synergy between Myth Esports when it comes to their playstyle and the mechanics, and unfortunately we're not seeing it on the side of SGTG.
That is correct, and right now we can see after almost 10 minutes of gameplay right now, again, the gold advantage seemingly slipping away for SGTG, with Myth Esports having a commanding 6,000 gold advantage, ladies and gentlemen, as well to go with 3 Abyssal Dragons.
Yes. Apparently for SGTG, they need some good stops and also good farms.
That is correct, and from what we can see right now, it's a very telling sign that essentially Myth Esports' technique of using Zenial as, again, the two-way threat that he is, paying dividends by still providing consistent pressure at the Dark Slayer lane while his teammates are running roughshod and securing yet another, the fourth Abyssal Dragon for Myth Esports.
Yes, because Daniel is very confident that through any situation he can use his global ultimate and try to secure his teammates to safety.
That is correct, and right now we can see again the Ormar still essentially goading SGTG to use their necessary abilities, and again from SG trying his best to get him out of dash, get him the stun for a potential team fight, but to no avail, ladies and gentlemen. And now we can see the Thane, SG Champ, doing his best to stun the Ormar, and again, falling really quickly on the wayside, in part of the Tulin damage again, and for good measure. Myth Esports again, Lomi doing Angelic Splendor again, an awesome Angelic Splendor for that matter, saving the Zill out of dodge against the Airy, against Skyry. Meanwhile, Tulin again, further damaging, denting essentially denting SGTG's lineup for a 4-0 team fight.
Yes, Zill doing a mini Murad ultimate against the opposite side, so trying to send a message again.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. And again, following that, Myth Esports have effectively secured Dark Slayer in short order. Again, look at that burst damage from Lomi's Zenial, paying dividends, and again securing the second tower in the middle lane for Myth Esports.
Seems that Myth is trying to push the mid lane tower, trying to wait a minute.
Okay, there's gonna be a clash again, ladies and gentlemen. Again, an onslaught from the Zill for Myth Esports, and again, an ill-advised ultimate right there for the Malok for SG Sim that led to a 4-1 routing of Myth Esports against SGTG, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Malok has been a very non-factor when it comes to the game, and apparently it should be better that they should let the cooldown of Dark Slayer be off.
That is correct, and right now we can see that for the most part, again, the Cricknack again doing the last-ditch effort trying to save the team, but again, you can see Myth Esports with a commanding win against SGTG, 17-5 score under 13 minutes rather, to win the best of 3 games for the upper bracket at Kaisaya's tournament.
Yes,
what a match!
Yes, what a match! Congratulations to the team Myth Esports against SGTG. As we can see here when it comes to the battle stats, Tulin has performed very well. At the same time, Zill and Joker trying to provide that assist kill for Tulin to perform very well.
That's correct. For MVP honors, we get to see that again, Lomi with an awesome showing of a Zenial with a 605 KDA for a 13.9 MVP rating, followed by the Joker with an impressive lineup of no kills, no deaths, but 10 assists for a 12.6 efficiency MVP rating rather. What's awesome lineup, awesome team altogether. Try to say so myself.
Yes, the Zill pick was very helpful, even if they were denied the Cricknack, because he was able to synergize with the Tulin since he's a mage at the same time.